What does that mean to you, Black History Month?
It means that that's racism because they don't celebrate White History Month. We don't have it. I'm part Italian. I don't have Italian History Month. So what I think it's doing is perpetuating what this divide is in our nation, quite honestly, because I don't feel like that should be highlighted. I don't think that they should be pushing their agenda on myself because I'm a straight male, I have a wife, and I have children. I don't think that I should have to be bombarded and brainwashed through media, through those months or Pride, Black History. I don't think that's something that should be, dictated to me.
Is it a learning opportunity?
Not at all, because when I was in school, we learned, certain Black leaders, things like that.
This is Whiteman's response to Black History Month. Let's go. Is January White History Month? We need a White History Month. When is White History Month or No Welfare Month? I got news for you, buddy. We need a White History Month. The way they act today could care less about it. What month is White History Month? What about White History Month? Since Obama, Black people have become the most racist people in America. Veterans History Month. Bro, that's November. The biggest waste of a month ever. Why do we need all that? It's a disgrace. It was canceled. Now it's Veterans Month.
Y'all want to know why they hate that we celebrate Black History Month? It's because Black history is a constant reminder that their ancestors were the bad guys. All Black history is us overcoming the obstacles that their ancestors put in front of us. Imagine if they had a White History Month, right? What role would we play in White History Month other than we were the ones to help y'all achieve the things that y'all achieved? There's no part of white history where we would be the ones that held white people back from doing anything. But all Black History Month is white people put all of these barriers in front of Black people and we overcame them. We achieved all of this greatness despite being the ones that were being abused and mistreated. And who were doing the abusing and the mistreatment? White people. So they don't like the fact that, us celebrating our history is just a reminder that, dang, they was the bad. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. Everybody wants to be the good guy. So if you was wondering like, dang, why they just won't let us have our own thing? Because that's why. It makes them look bad.
Child, it's been a while since I've addressed the white folks. So I wrote them a letter. And it goes a little something like this. Dear white people, during the November elections, Black folks try to ruin you. Not because you deserved it. Not because we're psychic or dramatic. Well, some of us are. But because we recognize patterns. We've lived under this government who use fear, propaganda, and projection to justify harming us. Baby, every time Black folks spoke up, we were dismissed. Here we were. And I want to bring to your attention that dismissal didn't happen in a vacuum. It's been reinforced century after century after century by a government narrative that taught this country that Black people are dangerous and untrustworthy, uneducated, criminal, and above all, disposable. Baby, those projections were never about truth. They were about justification. Justification to police us, justification to surveil us, justification to ignore us. Black folks have said this for generations. What happens to one group will eventually happen to others.
Did you know that white people consider it to be a mental illness for Black people to want to be free? Because they really thought that they were doing Black people a favor by enslaving us. In 1851, Dr. Samuel Cartwright determined that enslaving people was a form of helping them, and that escaping slavery was a mental illness called drapetomania. They were flogged until their backs literally shredded. Women were whipped and children were raped. They whipped and they were chained, they screamed, and they didn't care. These white doctors wrote it in their journals as treatment. Freedom was considered to be illegal and pathologized as being insane, such as people like Harriet Tubman, right? Wanting to be free, wanting to let people go. They consider her to be insane. But on the other hand, white rebels, they screamed for liberty and they got whole monuments. Black rebels were tortured. They were erased and they were forgotten. But this is the truth that they don't want you to know.
Oh my gosh, just look at this.
You think white people hate black people?
Yes.
Or they just don't understand this?
Hate us. They understand us. Nigga, they made us. They educate us. What you mean they don't understand us? They educate us. 95% of school teachers are white in America. What you mean they don't understand us? Most of them are our probation officers. Most of them are our judges. What you mean they don't understand us? They're reading our files. They know our history. They know our history better than we know it.
They don't understand the struggle, though. That's what I mean. They do
understand the struggle. They created it for us to struggle. They know what the struggle does to us. Believe me. We don't know. That's why we try to embrace the struggle like it's something. That's why we put the struggle over a middle class life.
So ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping that you're all doing well today. And yeah, it's been going on for a couple of times or a couple of periods right now, whereby the white community feel like, why would black people celebrate or rather have an entire month to celebrate themselves? So basically, if we talk about the Black History Month, this is something that was created in the 90s. And the reason why this particular month, or rather this particular event was created, was because people wanted inclusion. People wanted inclusion in terms of workforces, in terms of education, and all that. And ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, you would realize we have some of the smartest brains in the African community who have invented like a lot of stuff that are really helping in fostering the lives of people, even currently in the world. But the reason why this particular month was created was because there needed to be inclusion that black people could also benefit. And you've also realized that black people provided labor for European countries, for American, and all this. You know, like, I'm calm when I'm talking about this because this is something that we don't need to debate anymore. And you've also realized that in African curriculum, I feel like we study more about what white people are made of rather than the way they study about African communities. And I feel like that is something that they hide on the books. They want to hide it on the books because they don't want the future generation to know what their ancestors actually did to our ancestors. Yeah, so most of the time when you see a black person celebrating this month, I think you can, the better part about it is you can just try to extend some courtesy, extend some grace, because we are celebrating what our forefathers made us be today. And even with that, we are still having this, you know. So you're going to realize that in the event of all this, the black people, as I say every time, did not cross mountains, they did not cross sorts of rivers to go into another people's ancestral land to cause them havoc. Because everything, I don't know what the white communities are afraid of, because everything that a black person goes through right now, they know about it. These people knew about our culture. We had a culture. Black people had their own culture, and it wasn't like bad or something like that. It was good culture. And when now colonization came and slavery came, a lot of stuffs were distorted, whereby the African culture was seen as something like, which was like out of this world, something that is forbidden, something that was so dark, that it was so bad. So dear white people, when you see a black man celebrating, just let them be. Let them be, because you don't understand it. You don't understand it because your system has been lying to you, and there's this sort of rage that you have when the black community tells you this is what your ancestral people did. to our ancestors. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here, my name is Yvonne, and to my returning subscribers, thank you so much. Thank you for staying. I really appreciate it. To my new subscribers, you are welcome to being part of my online family, and until next time.